I found fascinating, in the 1840s, we started getting our first tchotchkes, Alamo tchotchkes. Tell me about William Nangle.
Well, there were some stone carvers, apparently two of them, who decided to make tourist trinkets out of the stones of the Alamo. And there is a pipe at Andrew Jackson's house, the Hermitage, that is a pipe that was given to him carved from the stones of the Alamo. They did urns, pipes, bowls, various trinkets. They also did a monument that they did it on speculation, hoping to sell it to the government, and that never got bought. But the odd thing is, there was a monument proposed by a Mexican officer the day of the Battle of the Alamo to be commemorating the Mexican soldiers killed. They were going to use a cannon, a bronze cannon, and make a plaque out of it and inscribe the names of all the Mexican soldiers killed there. And he wrote a poem, which I translate in my book, dedicated to the people who died at the Battle of the Alamo, but on the Mexican side.
Now, obviously, part of the story of the Alamo is what a villain Santa Anna was. But after he loses at San Jacinto, some interesting things happen. President Jackson has him to the White House. What is that all about? Well,
actually, you have to realize land issues it's about real estate. And it had been about real estate for about 50 years before the battle. There had been attempts to take Texas by primarily Southern Anglo-Americans. Well, Andrew Jackson wined him and dined him at the White House. He also went to New York, and they tried to basically get him to sign away more and more territory, and he refused to do it, said he couldn't do it because he was a prisoner of war. And they put him on a U.S. Navy ship and sent him back and put him back in power in Mexico. And later, President Polk took him out of exile in Cuba, and with U.S. Navy's aiding and abetting, put him back in power in Mexico. So we put Santa Anna back in power twice after the Battle of the Alamo.
Wow. And you also write that in some ways the Alamo was more of a factor, or at least a precursor to the Civil War than even Fort Sumter.
Well, it was in two ways. When the Alamo happened, there was an immediate attempt to annex Texas in 1836. Well, it caused a big howl up in Washington because of the slave issue and the rather odd way in which the Republic came into being with Anglo-American aiding and abetting. So Andrew Jackson, who wanted to annex it, he decided it was too hot a potato to deal with, and so he passed it on to his following president, who did not touch it at all. And nobody wanted to mess with it, but it caused so much aggravation towards this slavery that the gag rule was put in place after this, and Texas started leading to a hyper tensions in the South about problems of threatening slavery, even discussing slavery. So eventually, when the Civil War started, right before it started, there was a coup in San Antonio with a secret society, the Knights of the Golden Circle. And they were a white supremacist empire group that basically seized control of San Antonio and the military supplies here with the help of General Twiggs, who was the U.S. commander. And Robert E. Lee had been the commander shortly before that and was still in Texas. And he got arrested by the secessionists.
What an irony there.
What an irony there. And there was some problems in which the troops, the federal troops in San Antonio did not want to surrender, and they felt betrayed by the commander, and they broke their weapons on the ground when they were ordered to surrender. And so they almost had a bloodbath here in San Antonio, except the commander had agreed in the backroom deal to let, to take a fall on
basically
this.
to surrender. I think that's it for our time. George, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this, and I appreciate the book.